It's not over yet in the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship, and the Racer X Motocross Show is here to bring you action from the finale at Pala. The Traxxas National had it all. One championship still up for grabs between the Ryans, and what a place for them to have one final showdown. Pala is going to bring us the fastest, gnarliest track of the year, perfect weather for racing, and a huge crowd of Southern California motocross fanatics on hand to watch history unfold. Racer X Motocross Show, next. Welcome to your final edition of the Racer X Motocross Show on AllySports.com of the year. Jason Wygant, your host. Championship in the 250 class already decided, and that's where the 450s would race in your final set of motos today. As far as the 250 bikes are concerned, Blake Baggett, Tyler Rattray still fighting over second in the series. Their Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki teammate Dean Wilson already has the title. He clinched it last week, and their Pro Circuit team is looking to sweep all 12 overall wins this year. Can anyone break up that tremendous run? Let's find out as we get to the Moto 1 highlights. Perfect weather conditions here at Pala. Off the gate, though, bumping and banging. The 20 of Brock Tickle would run into Cole Seeley and Darren Durham. All three would go down off the start. Amazingly, all three would work their way back into the top 20 before it's over. Up front early, Blake Baggett. Haven't seen him running toward the front of the pack early in a while. He led Wilson and Rattray around. First rider to challenge him, the Red Bull KTM of Marvin Musquian. These four would fly information early in the moto, but Wilson would quickly take the lead from his teammate Baggett. Baggett would do everything he could to try to get him back, with Rattray and Musquian in third and fourth, Kotis and a handful of Suzuki and Yamaha riders following them. Rattray at one point would get around Baggett for the number 2 spot, but Musquian trying to make moves on them. At the halfway mark in the moto, Baggett would find his rhythm, drop the hammer like he was doing earlier in the year, would take second back from Rattray and close back in on Wilson, who was jumping in awesome rhythm. No other 250 rider clearing that jump. But it didn't matter, Baggett had the speed to catch him, and then things got dicey between the two teammates. In this section here, Baggett continues to close the gap. We're down to 3-4 laps to go, and it is wheel to wheel between the two riders battling for the win. And Baggett took umbrage with some of the moves that Wilson was making to try to hold him off. Watch this section here. Wilson goes from the left side of the track to the right, holds on to the lead. Baggett was none too happy about it. Coming down to the finish, though, Wilson was able to hold Baggett off, fist pump for the crowd. He wins his third straight moto here at Pala. Baggett finishes 1.3 seconds behind him, and after the moto, they nearly fought. Mitch Payton quickly took his young charges into his rig, had a sit-down meeting with him, and doused all the flames. No troubles between Wilson and Baggett heading into moto number 2. Although they did have problems off the start. Bad starts. Geico Honda riders out front. Jimmy Dakotas, another good start. Justin Bogle, 10th in Moto 1, was running second. Then he got around Jimmy D and took off Bogle, trying to win a moto in just his 4th pro race. Wilson had to work his way forward. Eventually he would get up to the number 2 spot and slowly but surely try to reel Bogle in. But past the 20-minute mark, the new kid on the block continued to hold the lead. It finally was the 26th minute of the race when Wilson was able to take the lead from Bogle, and from there, he would pull away just a bit and hang on to take the moto victory, and with that goes undefeated at Pala for the 2nd year in a row. Bogle would hold on for second. Baggett, after a bad start, kept charging, kept digging, nearly got Bogle at the end, but would have to settle for third. Baggett's going to come up just short on Rattray on points for the year. Rattray goes 3-5 for 4th overall behind Musquian, Baggett, and Wilson. He will hold on to second in the series. And Eli Tomac, a rough day, but he charges through the pack and scores just enough points to hold off Kyle Cunningham to take 4th in the series standings. Let's talk to our top 250 riders in the press conference.
I'm happy because this season was like a bad dream, and so yeah, 2 podiums for the last 2 races is good. Yeah, really exciting to be back in France. Yeah, it's been a long time, but yeah, to see the family, the friend, and also for the nation. And the nation is always a big race, and so this year in France it's gonna be really good.
I know I have what it takes, and I just need to fix and try to eliminate the mistakes that I made, or actually just make them smaller. They were kind of big mistakes, but my highs were really high, and I had some pretty deep lows, so I'll try to get rid of those next year.
I'm so excited for the nations. Obviously, I'll be representing Team Great Britain, and really looking forward to it. It's one of those races you get there, and it's just total different scene. You know, it's new and it's fresh, and it's really exciting for me. And so yeah, I'm leaving on Monday, the night after the banquet. So really looking forward to it, and you know, just gonna go there and ride my best, and that's all I can do.
Sandwich.
Freaking thing, man. I can't get the soda. Thanks, Jeff. That's the 250s, but the championship is still in line in the 450 division. Ryan Dungey comes in 14 points as a deficit to Villopoto. Villopoto needs to go 4-4 in the two motos if Dungey goes 1-1. These riders have been chasing each other for nearly their entire lives for championships, and now it's on the line in the biggest title fight of all. Let's get to the action. Chad Reed actually gets bounced off the start and bumps into Dungey and Villopoto. That would set the two Ryans way back and allow Michael Lessing and Red Bull KTM to take over the early lead. Colton Fasciati on the Lucas Oil Troy Lee Honda. The Canadian was running in the number 2 spot with Justin Barshik in third. Nowhere in sight. The two title contenders. Here is Barcia going for the lead. He would get around Alessi and try to take off, go after his second career 450 moto win. Finally find the line back just inside the top 10. They would race each other while racing through traffic. Certainly had to be get nervous time for Villopoto, who even made a big mistake at one point, overjumped the double, and his hand came off the bars. Halfway through the moto, though, Villopoto put it together. He would actually catch up to Barcia and take the lead, and Dungey was trying to follow suit. Dungey and Villopoto had passed each other back and forth a few times, but through this segment, Villopoto was able to get away. The best Dungey could hope for was to get to second and get around Barcia, which he would do. It was too little too late to run Villopoto back down. The Ryans are going to go 1-2, but it's Villopoto heading toward the moto win and a 3-point bigger lead in the series standings. Good job for Barcia to finish third. So now Villopoto is holding a 17-point lead heading into Moto 2. He basically just needs to finish this one to hold on to the title, but once again, the Ryans get bumped around off the start. Dungey actually at one point had to run over the downed bike of Jake Weimer. That set them way back. Up front, Chad Reed, who had crashed in the first turn of Moto 1, leading here in Moto number 2 with Barcia right behind him. It didn't look like the Ryans were going to have time to catch either of the Honda riders as they continued to battle information coming through traffic. Finally, they would get to third and fourth, and then Barcia put the pressure on Reed, and Reed went down. That allowed Barcia to take the lead. Then Reed, in the number 2 spot, has to deal with the two Ryans. He gave him everything he had to try to hold on to second, but Dungey would make his way forward and go after Barcia. Eventually, Villopoto would make the pass on Reed as well. He would lock down third, which would be more than enough to give him the title. But with Barcia leading the moto, the number 17 Honda rider was in position to win the overall, being 3-1 scores. But Dungey with 2 laps to go and execute the pass, and that would upset Barcia's upset hopes to take the overall win. Dungey's going to go 2-1, win the overall, but come up 12 points short in the championship to Villopoto. As Barcia and Villopoto finished second and third in the race in front of Reed and Brett Metcalf.
I'm really excited to get a little break after the Des Nations and just start preparing and doing our homework and getting ready for 2012. It's nice to leave here, with a win. Leaving the 2011 season and leaving it behind.
I kind of learned that, there's a next step in my career, and, the two Ryans, they have that next step, and I you know, I think I can take my, you know, my riding to the next level. I learned a lot. With working with the Honda team was a really big thing. You know, I learned a lot of new things. They're very experienced, and I didn't want to sit at home. I wanted to race. You know, even if I couldn't win, I was gonna, you know, go 20 minutes as fast as I could and then, you know, fade or whatever. But definitely, you know, I've been through a lot this year.
And in the WMX class, Ashley Fila comes in holding a 22-point lead. She does what she needs to do. She finishes 3rd overall. Jessica Patterson and Tara Geiger go 1-2, but Fila locks down the championship.
All right, let's make this quick. Obviously a championship celebration for Ryan Villopoto to go to, but first I want to congratulate you, and a series doesn't come much more harder fought than this. Supercross and motocross, you got to be pumped to have come out on top.
Yeah, no, it's been a rough, tough year, I should say. And with Supercross and motocross, and started off motocross not looking so good, but now we were able to turn it around, and you know, we're just sitting here now, and I think everybody's glad it's over.
Take us through the motos today, man. You probably didn't want to have to deal with any drama, but bad starts in both motos, getting bumped around, it got pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, the starts weren't too good today. I disliked the track a whole bunch only because it was so fast.
Yeah.
I think they need to work on that, slow it down a little bit. But other than that, the track was all right. The dirt was good. And then the sun got pretty bad in that second moto. But you know, as for the first moto, I went out there just to do my normal deal and was able to get the win. And then second moto around halfway is when I just kind of sat back and said, I'm just going to run it out from here. But up until that point, I was, you know, kind of right behind those guys and stayed pretty close.
How hard did you have to work to come back? That was a gnarly injury last year. Just take us through the sacrifice to get back to this level, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough, but like I said, in the beginning of the year when Eldon became available, I knew that he was the guy I needed, and once I hired him, it, you know, kind of just started the ball rolling.
The last thing I want to ask, you know, when two riders are going for the same thing, things start to get pretty tense. You and Dungey seem to maintain a pretty decent relationship, and you're still pretty good sportsman about it at the end of the day today.
No, I think everything's good, and I think for myself and him, we're just glad it's over. And, you know, we can let our hair down a little bit and go to Motocross the Nation's ready.
All right, go to celebrate, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's Ryan Villopoto, your Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross champ. See you next year.